Hey there, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ethan. For those of you who do know me, I'm, anyways, as you might have gathered from the title of the video, I'm kind of touching on the topic of forgiveness again. Maybe a rebrand a little bit, expanding on it a little bit further beyond just the basic surface level form of forgiveness that I covered last time. But genuinely just felt the need to expand, because I don't think I really touched on it enough in my previous video about the topic. And that's natural at this point, right? I feel like I go back and expand on things a little bit more whenever I so feel inclined. But just to say, to live with grace, I'll probably, might be a little bit of a turnoff for some people, may or may not. I'm not entirely sure. So I'll preface by saying that I'm not really opposed to any other belief systems. You can believe what you want. You can do what you want with your life. But personally, I believe there is a lot to be found in a relationship with God, right? Anyone who's been watching my videos knows that I have been in the process of re-establishing and strengthening or bettering my relationship with God, because I lived without it. I lived without God for a really long time, and ever since I found God again, things have been improving. And maybe there isn't a direct correlation, but regardless, life does feel better with God in my life. And that may not necessarily be the case for everyone, and that's totally fine if it is or isn't. You're free to make your own choices, which is the best part about being human, is that we have free will, right? You're at total liberty to do or believe as you see fit. But just wanted to expand on forgiveness in that I feel as though a lot of people take forgiveness as something that is conditional, that you should only forgive up until a certain extent, or you should only forgive certain actions or whatever, what have you. You should never really forgive past a certain extent, or so on and so forth. But forgiveness, like love, is not something that should be conditional. It should never be conditional. Once it becomes conditional, it's not genuine, it's not true, and there's no need for that in anyone's lives. If you're going to be someone who is forgiving, someone who is merciful, then you should do it wholeheartedly. It should be complete. And I know that's very difficult, because giving everyone the same amount of forgiveness, or forgiving anything and everything in general, is a very difficult task. It's very difficult to be someone who forgives, regardless of the position you've found yourself in. But in a merciless world, we should strive to be merciful, especially considering, and this is where, the relationship with God comes in. God forgives all of us. He already delivered upon us the greatest act of mercy and forgiveness by offering his only Son, so that we may live in a way where we can come to him in our imperfect selves, in our sinful selves, and still be forgiven and still be accepted. So all that really is required of us is to deliver that same grace upon the rest of our own kind. And I don't see that as too big an ask. I'd be lying, obviously, if I said that sometimes it's not difficult to, forgive certain people for certain things. It's always difficult. But I'm only extending the mercy and grace that has been granted to me, by the person that I'm building a relationship with and strengthening my relationship with, the one above, So, yeah, it's always going to be a little difficult, but you should aim to try to forgive others at all times. Now, the cool part is the Bible doesn't say that you have to be, a pushover per se, and you shouldn't. I don't believe that anyone should allow themselves to be a pushover. Forgiving doesn't mean that you can't protect your heart. You should. Even the Bible says so. You should protect your heart. Forgive others, but be mindful. Protect yourself. Just because you're forgiving and just because you forgive does not mean you have to allow yourself to be subjected to the same things over and over again as well. To the same pains, to the same struggles, to the same betrayals. Jesus got betrayed once. That was it. So you can forgive, but still protect yourself. They're not mutually exclusive. But don't be the person that forgives selectively, because then that's not really being forgiving. That's not really being true. Either be totally forgiving or just don't bother at all. But regardless, I do believe the world would be a better place once everyone learns to forgive and just let go of the hurt. What do you gain from holding on to that? You gain nothing. I have been so deeply wronged and betrayed and hurt by others my entire life. And if I were still holding on to all of that, I'd be miserable right now. And I know that because I was, when I was still holding on to it. But I'm not anymore. So just forgive. Be graceful. Be forgiving. Be merciful. Yeah. With that being said, as always, if you're feeling negative or positive, whatever, what have you, feel free to reach out to me 24/7, 365 through any of the various social media links in the description below, because I will always get back to you. Because you're not alone. You're never alone. And if no one told you today, I'm proud of you. I love you. Keep going. You got this. Yeah. Till next time, peace.